Rock News starts right now.
Scammed out of roughly $1 million. This happened to someone in Kerr County in a scheme that lasted nearly a year.
And that is just one example of an increasing number of attempts to rip people off. Max Massey talks with a member of the U.S. Secret Service Task Force who shares what investigators have been seeing and what you and I should watch out for.
Probably in the last year, we've seen maybe about $2 million in losses from our citizens just here in Kerr County.
Lucas Flores is the digital forensic investigator for the Kerr County Sheriff's Department, and he's a member of the Secret Service Task Force.
We had a particular case not too long ago where a victim was victimized over a year and lost approximately $1 million in the process.
He tells me his team, well, they're seeing a troubling increase in scams, and these are just the ones being reported.
That's a huge increase from the past. The scary part of it is that that's just a small portion of what's actually out there. These are just the people that are actually coming to us. What happens a lot of times is that, especially with the elderly, is that they get scammed and then they realize it and they get embarrassed by it and they don't say anything.
And these malicious acts, they're not just concentrated on one particular platform.
Fraudulent investment schemes. So a lot of times on different social media platforms like Instagram and Facebook, you'll see a link that says get rich now. They want access to your data and they want to convince you that your computer is infected and it's going to cost you a lot of money to fix it. Romance scams is another thing that we see quite a bit.
And whether it's a pop-up, an email, or even a text on your phone, it is so important to be cautious, be suspicious, go through these preventative measures because realistically, you might not get your money back.
Contact law enforcement if you think you're a victim of a scam. The faster you get to reporting it to law enforcement, the more likely it is, if you've lost money, the more likely it is we might be able to help you recover it.
Flores tells me law enforcement is urging awareness and prevention before it's too late. Max Massey, KSAT 12 News.
The Bexar County Sheriff's Office announcing charges in 3 separate sexual assault cases involving children. The first one dating back a decade. This happened back in 2013. Sheriff Javier Salazar says Joel Ronnie Saldana allegedly lured a teen that he met online to meet up in person and assaulted her. He's currently in the Kerr County Jail on an unrelated charge. The second case dates back to June of last year. According to BCSO, Randy Castillo broke into a house and tried to assault a 16-year-old. He's currently in the Harris County Jail. And in the third case, the sheriff's office says that Patrick Gregory Carey abused a young child for about 3 years. Carey is charged with continuous abuse of a child. He's being held here in Bexar County.
And tonight, we know the name of a woman killed in a head-on crash over the weekend. 30-year-old Desiree Luna actually died in a crash on Saturday along Highway 90. That's according to the Bexar County Medical Examiner's Office. SAPD says Luna was driving the wrong way on the road when she hit a Mercedes sedan. Both Luna and the other driver were taken to a nearby hospital where they later died. The woman driving the Mercedes has not been identified.
A trial 6 years in the making is now underway. Guadalupe Contreras is accused of killing his wife, Elizabeth Contreras, after her body was found in a field in 2017. As Erica Hernandez reports, testimony revealed a love triangle involving the victim's first husband.
I wouldn't like her to do something like this, to just disappear with no communication.
Elizabeth Contreras' ex-husband, Joe Munoz, the first witness to be called to the stand, talked about his relationship with Elizabeth and how she had moved back in with him and their daughter when she separated from Guadalupe Contreras in early 2017. On August 2nd, 2017, Munoz said Elizabeth left their home at around 10:30 p.m. when she told him she had to go pick up her work schedule and talk to her supervisor. In the middle of the night, he woke up.
I woke up to notice that Elizabeth hadn't gotten home yet. So I got concerned.
But during cross-examination, defense attorney Charles Bunkt asked Munoz if he had sent threatening messages to not only Guadalupe Contreras, but also to Elizabeth Contreras as well.
You and her had some crosswords and some angry communication specifically about her and Guadalupe in the weeks leading into this, correct?
Yes, sir.
What were your feelings about them getting back together like that?
I was upset, very upset.
The defense also mentioning that Munoz was the first one to get to Elizabeth's vehicle that was found a few days after her disappearance, off Interstate 37, and that it was possible for him to have had time to get rid of evidence before police got to the scene. Testimony continues on Wednesday afternoon. Guadalupe Contreras is facing up to life in prison if found guilty. Erica Hernandez, KSAT 12 News.
The stifling heat wave we're experiencing forcing the San Antonio Fire Department to change up the way it operates. We saw that Sunday when an otherwise normal structure fire drew 17 fire units, far more than normal. That's so firefighters can rotate out. It's something that they do when it gets so warm. Today, we learned that firefighters in full gear can only safely spend 5 to 10 minutes battling fires in this heat. But it's not just the fires that become tough in this humidity.
It's when you're working grass fires, when you're on the highway, on the concrete, working automobile accidents, when you're dealing with medical calls, you're outside for an extended period of time. That's when it really weighs in.
So if you see crews at a scene this summer, you'll likely see what they call rehab medics available with shade, water, IV fluid, and cold towels. And because of the heat, ERCOT is asking you to voluntarily reduce your electricity use until 8 p.m. because the power grid operator is expecting record demand this evening. Now, according to ERCOT's supply and demand chart, the forecasted available power capacity will be just above 80,000 megawatts, while the predicted demand is over 77,000. Yesterday, ERCOT broke a peak demand record with 79,304 megawatts. We have tips on how to conserve energy, things like turning up the thermostat, not using your washer and dryer. All that information on KSAT.com. We've been talking a lot about heat indexes lately and the number of records that we've set. Guess what? We did it again.
Several records broken today.
Yeah.
Let's get right to it. And first of all, the new record heat index value. Sounds familiar? Yeah, last week we did this at 115. Today, we made it up to 117 for the feels like temperature, the heat index value. We hit that at 3:30 p.m. That's a new all-time warm heat index value. Our actual air temperature high was 105, and that's a new record by 2 degrees for the day today. Del Rio stands out at 113 because that is a new all-time record high temperature in Del Rio. Since records have been kept in Del Rio, today's the hottest day ever experienced for the thermometer there. I do want to point out we have a little bit of activity developing in the hill country. This is far northwest of San Antonio, and it's nearly stationary. This is a severe thunderstorm just east of Rock Springs and northwest of Lakey. We'll take a closer look at this and talk about our slightly better chances of storms even here in San Antonio the next couple of days in just a bit.
Thank you, Adam. San Antonio continuing to struggle with domestic violence as the number of reports have risen over the past few years through the pandemic. And in that time, the city has tried to switch to a victim-centered approach instead of one that's centered more around law enforcement. Garrett Berger tells us how that works when it comes to helping the victims.
In the fall of 2020, the city tried something new. The immediate crisis support services for victims of domestic violence would no longer be under police. Instead, they were put under Metro Health.
The idea of separating services from the police department makes it seem more neutral and helps victims have an experience that feels a little more focused on them.
Since then, Metro Health says it's grown the team from 20 people to 59. Beyond the usual immediate support like clothing, taking care of kids, or getting protective orders, the department also has case management for more long-term support.
That enables them to leave that abusive situation, find permanent housing that is safe for them, find a job that gives them their own money and their own financial control, find counseling, anything else that helps them become independent and out of that abusive environment.
Police still play a role beyond just investigating these crimes. They're part of a multi-agency team that evaluates specific cases for red flags that could move someone up in the line to get services.
It really takes a village to get somebody through the trauma that they experience and through the legal processes.
And SAPD is expected to roll out a new evaluation tool that could help determine people at highest risk to be seriously injured or killed by their abuser. So they'd go to the front of the line.
We do get to everyone, so I don't want people to feel like some will be lost because we have the coverage to do that. We just change the prioritization.
Garrett Berger, KSAT 12 News.
The wife of now suspended Attorney General Ken Paxton releasing a statement about her husband's upcoming trial. State Senator Angela Paxton said that Texas law compels each member of the Senate to attend, and she will, quote, carry out her duties, end quote. Ken Paxton faces allegations of abusing his office's powers, retaliating against whistleblowers, and obstructing justice, among other charges. Paxton has denied any wrongdoing and railed against the investigation. This trial will start by August 28th and will be presided over by Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick. Now, if Paxton, he could be convicted, but if he is ultimately acquitted by the Senate, he would be reinstated as Attorney General.
Back here in San Antonio today at UTSA, a ceremony held to honor two people who have helped students from all backgrounds get an education. This morning, the university honored Manuel and Maria Berriozabal for helping create opportunities for minorities over the last 40 years. Back in 1979, Manuel established a STEM-based program which got national recognition. Today, UTSA created an endowment that will encourage more students to consider careers in STEM.
We just want them to know the power they have, that they can learn from other people, that they're supporters, people that will help them. They're young. We need those brains. We need those minds in the future.
Also at the ceremony today, Manuel was given the title of doctor. Well deserved.
Congrats to both. Let's take a look at traffic out there right now. I-10 at the Y here coming into downtown where I-35, I-10 all come together. Looks like traffic in all of those different directions you see here is moving along smoothly at this hour.
Coming up in our next half hour, we go front and center with the Air Force's first transgender military training instructor, how his experience has been since we last spoke with him a year ago.
Plus, these days, it may seem like having a good bedside manner is a thing of the past, but think again. After the break, how UT Health San Antonio is teaching new doctors why a good bedside manner is important for a patient's health.
Burning out of the industry, some veterinarians say they've had enough. Why they're leaving a field that so many people depend on. Tonight on the Night Beat at 10.
With so many patients and not nearly enough time, a visit to the doctor's office can seem impersonal or strictly business these days. But the doctor's attention is often focused on your medical records or even on a computer screen.
Tonight, though, Jesse Degollado says UT Health San Antonio has a program, one of only two in the nation, teaching the importance of having a good bedside manner, even at the doctor's office.
As medical students and now as new doctors doing their residencies, they'll be putting into practice what they've learned. But here, 200 of them are being taught an important principle not found in medical books.
Physicians have power, and our power is that we have an opportunity to show people compassion.
To do that, they say doctors must first get to know their patients.
To delve into their life, their circumstances, where they live, what their challenges are.
In fact, Jones says all those factors could impact 80% of a person's health. But by failing to take that into account,
we're missing a big part of improving the health of our patients.
Learning all of the community resources that are available to their patients is part of the training that these new doctors are undergoing. They say it's not that doctors have to double as social workers,
but be aware and then connect that patient to the social worker, who then can connect them to the care that they need.
This type of training is perhaps an indication bedside manner is alive and well.
You really get to know your patients on a deeper level. We don't want these new doctors to lose sight of that. I think that that will make us better physicians and make our patients healthier.
Jesse Degollado, KSAT 12 News.
All right, we know it is so hot out there. The heat is definitely an issue today, but we also, some counties in our area with a severe thunderstorm warning.
Yeah, Authority radar showing the activity developing in the hill country. This is far northwest of San Antonio. Let's get a measurement, actually, just from downtown San Antonio. That's about 80 miles to the northwest. And this action is likely to stay out of San Antonio this evening. We could see more development around the hill country, but I think that's where it's mostly going to be confined to. We'll get some of the blow-off clouds, but that's about it. So we had the one severe storm in Real County. Now we've got a new one, new development. And this has been the trend of the past several days. It's no coincidence that they don't move a whole lot. They just start back building. And I expect this to keep building toward Rock Springs and even drifting toward Rock Springs. But this is the latest severe thunderstorm with the potential to have golf ball size hail within it. And that's this purple area just east of Rock Springs. So Rock Springs, this isn't very far from you. And we're talking, let's see, from Rock Springs, just about 9.5 miles off to the east. So turning off the warning and the lightning, obviously it's very lit up, this very electrified storm. You look at the 3D view of this, and this is reaching a lot higher than the previous storm we were looking at 5 o'clock. That was over northern Real County, and this is northern Real County, but the previous storm that we were looking at, this is stretching higher and likely has even larger hail within it. You can see the large hail here, 9.5 miles east of Rock Springs at the moment. The purple indicating just the hail within the storm. Some of it suspended, a lot of it actually making it to the ground. So that's what the primary threat here within this storm is going to be, large hail. We'll watch this and monitor it for more development, and also very heavy rainfall. Flash flooding is possible. We'll take a look at some of the radar estimates on Authority radar coming up next half hour. Otherwise, let's talk about the trend. We've got the big heat high just off to the west of us. In turn, we've got this northwesterly flow aloft. The wind is always clockwise around high pressure systems in the northern hemisphere. It's the opposite in the southern hemisphere. Anyway, the center of the upper level high is off to the west over Mexico, so that puts us in this northwesterly flow aloft, which typically favors any development that happens in West Texas or North Texas to move our way, and we think that's going to be the case the next couple of days. So tomorrow, actually a better chance of even seeing some storms in San Antonio. We have it at 40%. So some scattered activity, localized hail can't be ruled out. The rain will be very welcomed, though. If you're lucky enough to get the rain, you could easily get a quick inch or two out of it, depending on how quickly these storms are moving. And then Thursday evening, a 30% chance, and down to 10% on Friday. By this weekend, that high centers itself closer to us, and we think that's going to deter any storm development. But we're looking for development in the hill country and even farther to the north in Texas the next couple of evenings. Let's talk about the tropics. Tropical storm Brett is what we have here in the Atlantic. We also have an 80% chance of development for the little tropical wave that's on its heels. Anyway, Brett moving westward at 18 miles per hour. Maximum gusts within this at 60 miles per hour. Right now, the Hurricane Center has it remaining a tropical storm as it moves into the central Caribbean by Saturday. The way it looks right now with our stubborn upper level high, it'd probably steer any tropical weather away from us. 102, the current reading, dew point of 70. So it feels like 110. It's these dew points. They're outrageous. Air temperatures well above 100, just about all over the place. You get into Bandera 98, Los Maples 93. Those are the exceptions. It feels like 110 here in town, and even Stinson feels like 110. So a few storms in the hill country this evening. They'll come to an end after sunset. Tomorrow we start the day at 80 degrees, top out at 104. By 5 o'clock through midnight, we have that 40% chance of some showers and storms. Air temperatures above 100 tomorrow, feeling like it's about 115 for the heat index values. And looking ahead, unfortunately, no break from triple-digit heat, and the humidity's sticking around for the time being.
Feeling like 115 because of the heat index. Yikes.
Yikes.
Okay.
Is exactly right.
Thanks, Adam.
All right, between newscasts, I saw a picture of Victor Wembanyama holding a baseball. Because he's throwing out the first pitch for the Yankees tonight. The baseball looked tiny.
Looked like a
in
golf
his hands,
ball.
Larry.
Yeah, it did. It really looked like a golf ball. Dude's got huge hands. So coming up, of course, the Spurs are expected to draft Victor Wembanyama. Now, the Spurs are in this position because they won the lotto thanks to that winning combination of numbers. And so far, so good for TCU when facing elimination at the College World Series. Coming up.
What's up, guys? It's Jeremy Sohan here, and I'll be the NBA's player correspondent for the NBA draft. I'm letting you guys on that special occasion pick my hair color, so go on the NBA app and go vote. You have the choices of lavender, pink, lime green, and black and silver. Make me look good.
Well, then I say vote silver and black. Go to the NBA app to vote for Jeremy Sohan's hair color in Big Board Sports. We are now 2 days away from the NBA draft, and Spurs fans are getting more and more excited, thinking about NBA Commissioner Adam Silver saying, and with the first pick in the 2023 NBA draft, the Spurs select Victor Wembanyama. Draft watch parties are going to go crazy, just like they did when the Spurs won the NBA draft lottery last month. Peter J. Holt did not hide his feelings that night, that's for sure. The ping pong balls bounced around in the Spurs' favor, and that's how they won the first overall selection. We sat down with Spurs general manager to ask him about that winning combo. 14, 5, 8, and 2. What will those numbers mean to you for the rest of your life?
Could play the lottery with them. It was it was an amazing night. We rewatched it as a group a little bit. Just the staff's reaction to it. They all make fun of me because I didn't go crazy in the back. But yeah, what it means to this organization, to this city. We understand the weight of the #1 pick, and I think everybody's just excited to see a process through, to know the possibilities that lie ahead, and just to keep building this team out to get back to where we want to be.
Wemby is at the Yankees-Mariners game tonight in the Bronx, where he threw out the ceremonial first pitch. We'll show you how he did tonight on the Night Beat. Now, we asked an NBA draft analyst if there's an underrated part of Wemby's game that doesn't get talked about enough.
I mean, he's the most dissected player, honestly, in NBA draft history. So we've looked at it from every angle, and we've highlighted the good and the bad, and the medium and the things that need to improve. So I mean, I think that maybe an element to his game that we're hopefully see more of with NBA spacing is his passing ability. Some of the most impressive moments we saw, in those G League Ignite games in October were really him creating his own shot on the perimeter, taking a defensive rebound, going coast to coast, passing off a live dribble, seeing over the top of defenses, out of double teams, using touch passes. He's got such a great feel for the game that that part I think is going to be accentuated for him more and more in the NBA.
Our live reports from Brooklyn will begin tomorrow at 5 p.m. Thursday, we've got you covered with extended draft coverage, and you can watch the draft live here on KSAT 12. Take you to Omaha for the College World Series and an elimination game between TCU and Oral Roberts today. Pick it up in the top of the 5th inning. Horned Frogs up 4-0, and they get more when Clark High School alum Anthony Silva pulls the ball to left field. That scores Cole Fontenelle and Trey Richardson to make it 6-0 TCU. Silva's only hit of the game certainly was a good one. Horned Frogs win 6-1 to eliminate the Golden Eagles. So TCU will next play #2 Florida tomorrow at 1 p.m. Florida is 2-0 at the College World Series. TCU is 2-1 and facing a must-win again. Guys,
got to stay alive.
Sure do.
All right, thanks, Larry.
Thanks. We'll be right back.
June is Pride Month, and today we are going inside the gates of Joint Base San Antonio to visit with a military training instructor who's breaking down barriers and trying to build a bridge of diversity and inclusion within the Air Force.
In this week's Front and Center, our Jonathan Cotto follows up with the Air Force's first transgender military training instructor almost a year later to learn what's changed in the last 12 months.
This is Brandon Rodriguez, a San Antonio native and a military training instructor at JBSA Lackland. We met with Rodriguez almost a year ago to learn his story and his role as the first transgender MTI in the United States Air Force. And since then, a lot has happened.
It's been amazing. Obviously, working at the 737 training group now, I was at the 321st Training Squadron, so I moved up to the group level, and now I'm BMT scheduler, so putting in a lot of hard work on the line with trainees.
11 months ago, we learned Brandon was actually born Brandy. He shared with us the challenges and obstacles he had to overcome to become who he is today. But sharing his journey did come with some reservations.
I worried about the future of the Air Force, obviously, and being a military training instructor, those things sometimes can be looked at in a negative light, but ultimately I found that it's all been looked at in a positive light. So I was nervous and anxious at first. However, I've learned that it's actually been overall very positive.
Rodriguez says opening up about being transgender has even had a positive impact on his airmen.
They actually are very supportive, and they have family, they have friends, they have people that they're related to, people that they know, and generally want to know, hey, if I run into somebody like you in the future, how do I make them feel comfortable? That's what I've experienced since then.
His story even catching the attention of the Undersecretary of the United States Air Force.
I came to work one day, was shortly after the interview with you, and I thought this was like all done and said, and I have this email in my email inbox that's from Colonel Karndorf. It was one of her schedulers, I believe, and this says, the Undersecretary of the Air Force would like to speak with you. And I'm like, huh, oh, okay.
Rodriguez was flown to Arlington, Virginia for the homecoming gala. He had a chance to meet and speak with the Undersecretary about several items like his experiences, BMT, and gender integration.
Such a rewarding time, and I look back at it and I can't help but smile, because Undersecretary of the Air Force, the highest person in my Air Force chain of command that I've ever met, and she wanted to talk to me. You know, she wanted to know my experiences.
He says after a long period of waiting, his scheduled surgical procedure has been moved up, and Walter Reed Medical Center will be overseeing the operation.
I've been waiting for 6 years for this particular surgery, and it's not anybody's fault or anything like that. It's just some red tape that we have to cross.
He says he's not nervous for the surgery, but is anxious.
I'm ready to complete this journey so that I can help people from my full self, my full perspective, and who I know myself to be.
His surgery is set for the end of July. Reporting front and center, Jonathan Cotto, KSAT 12 News.
President Joe Biden's son, Hunter Biden, will plead guilty to 2 tax misdemeanors and has reached a deal with federal prosecutors on a felony gun possession charge. That's according to a court filing from the Department of Justice. The DOJ is expected to recommend probation for the tax misdemeanors. The gun charge will likely be diverted, meaning it will be dismissed if Hunter Biden abides by certain conditions for a period of time. Final sentencing decisions will be left up to the judge.
The date for the criminal trial of former President Donald Trump is set. The trial into Trump's alleged mishandling of classified documents set to begin in mid-August. With this track, arguments for the parameters for the jury trial would happen at the end of July. Those dates could be pushed back because of the case's complexities and possible issues related to classified information. The federal judge also announced the proceedings will take place in Fort Pierce, Florida. Trump charged with 37 counts of mishandling top secret documents after he left office and then obstructing the investigation into those documents.
Now to the efforts to find that missing tourist submarine near the Titanic wreckage. Those efforts expanded today with the arrival of underwater search capabilities.
It comes as fears rise of dwindling oxygen levels, with the sub estimated to be about halfway through its 4-day supply for the 5 people on board. Laura Aguirre has the latest.
We will do everything in our power to effect a rescue.
The U.S. Coast Guard confirming Tuesday their mission to bring the missing submersible Titan and its 5-person crew back safely.
Today, the vessel Deep Energy, a 194-meter pipe-laying vessel, arrived on scene with underwater ROV capability. They have commenced an ROV dive at the last known of the position of the Titan and the approximate position of the Titanic wreck.
On board the missing sub, CEO Stockton Rush of OceanGate Expeditions, the company leading the voyage. French Titanic expert Paul-Henri Nargeolet, who's been to the wreck more than 35 times. And aviation company chairman Hamish Harding, known for taking on risky adventures, like a flight aboard Blue Origin's rocket in June of last year.
He will be a valuable asset to the crew and helping motivate the crew as well if morale is low.
Also on board, Pakistani businessman Shahzada Dawood and his son Suleiman Dawood. A family statement asking everyone to pray for their safety.
Time is against us at this point.
With each passing hour, the sub's emergency oxygen levels are dropping. Officials say when it lost contact Sunday, it had a 4-day supply. The Coast Guard estimating Tuesday, the vessel may have about 40 hours of breathable air left.
We've always known something like this could happen, and now it's happened, but we're still pretty much in shock. The community is. I hope it has a good ending.
I'm Laura Aguirre reporting.
Up next here at 6 o'clock, severe weather hitting several states along the Gulf Coast, leaving a path of destruction. We take a look at the aftermath of those storms after the break.